am pleased to be joined on the phone here on the Rich Eisen Show by the most prolific running back in the history of this great game, Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith. How are you, Emmitt?
Rich, I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm hanging here. It's a beautiful day in Carolina, and I've got you on the phone. So I am doing well. I could not help but notice on Twitter, because I follow at Emmitt Smith 22, one of the tweets that you sent out on Monday night during DeMarco Murray's game when he fumbled inside the red zone. You essentially tweeted out, know when the journey is over, with 3 exclamation points as well. Would you care to give a little more meat on that, Bones, Emmitt?
Basically, that was something that one of my coaches told me back when I was playing with the Cowboys in my latter years. I had fumbled the ball a couple of times, and one of the things he brought me into the office and made clear that I understood that fighting for inches sometimes can get you hurt, and inches is not that as important as getting a complete yard. And unless it was just a certain situation where you had to get the first down and you got to fight, that's something different. But watching the fumble the other night, when DeMarco caught the pass out of the backfield and ran down inside into the red zone, I thought that the journey was over, and I thought he was fighting for something that was not really that important at that particular time. And so, to me, I've come to learn over my years that the most important thing on the football field is not necessarily the players, it's actually the football itself. And so protection of the football is extremely important, which I think he understands. I don't think he intentionally fumbled the football, but no. I just think that sometimes you need a little bit of help in terms of understanding that how to protect the football.
What have you told DeMarco in your conversations with him, Emmitt?
Well, my conversation with him, which I'm going to try to keep as much of it private as possible, but I've always just made it very clear to him that I am available if he needs anything. And that's not necessarily just for DeMarco Murray, but that's for any NFL football player that wants access to Emmitt Smith to understand what I know or understand, help them with something that they may need help with. And that's basically the way I've kept the relationship with him, and then we'll continue to do such.
Now, I know, what you value, obviously, running and who you are, and DeMarco Murray as well. One of the great moments that I enjoyed when I was doing my podcast and the television version of it in the 3+ years that I did it was sitting down the triplets, you, Troy, and Michael together prior to a charity event that you and your lovely wife put on in the Metroplex area that I was fortunate enough to MC that night. And I asked you guys, this 2 years ago, I said, what will turn this franchise around, the fortunes? And you didn't stutter. You said, DeMarco Murray, give him the ball. And we are now seeing what happens when he can stay healthy and get that ball, Emmitt. The question is this sustainable moving forward in your mind with so many yards that he's already been able to rack up?
Well, I think you have to believe that it is sustainable, number one. You cannot worry whether or not you overfeeding him the football. The bottom line is you have not only DeMarco Murray, but you also have some other running backs that have been capable, but you still have to be committed to running the football regardless if DeMarco Murray is in the lineup or not. Now, granted, are the other guys as good as DeMarco? But that's remaining to be seen. But you got to give them a chance to prove to you that they are and that the running game is truly sustainable and the line is as good as you think they are, regardless if he's in or not. And I think that commitment reigns true regardless of who the running back might be. But DeMarco obviously is the man, and I think the running game can be sustainable, and it should be sustainable because you do have a good offensive line. You're just trying to keep a guy healthy, and that can happen whether or not he catches a pass, whether or not he's in there blocking, or whether or not he's in practice, and so forth. So just give him the football and let the chips fall where they may. And I think he would appreciate the opportunity of just getting the football anyway because he just cannot pull it back. Once you start it, you just cannot pull it back. You just got to let it go and try to manage it as closely as possible.
Jerry Jones saying that it's a pain tolerance thing with Tony because there's nothing structurally wrong with his back. Do you think that puts extra pressure on Romo, or it was potentially even unfair to throw that out there as he's trying to get back into the lineup?
Well, Tony Romo's been playing with pain all season long, so let's not trip over that. So I don't question whether or not he would make a decision to play with the pain or not. I think he can handle the pain and will handle the pain, but the pain is so severe to where it's hurting him from keeping him from standing up or walking and so forth. That's a different type of pain. And the kid has only one back, and he's already had a couple of surgeries on it. So it's not going to get in. It's not going to be back to where it once was years ago. So the bottom line is he has to manage his own self. And if Tony, which I saw do the other night, say he was all right and got back in the football game, I'm sure if he's fine come Sunday, he's going to play football, and it has nothing to do with the pain.
Yeah, Garrett just said moments ago he's optimistic that Tony looks better, sounds better right now, and he's optimistic that he's going to go against the Arizona Cardinals. Who do you think the best team in the NFL is right now, Emmitt? The eye test.
Right now, I think the Cardinals and the Broncos are playing the best football out of all teams in the NFL. I think the Packers are trying to make that comeback, but they suffered a setback on Sunday night. But I think the Cardinals and the Broncos are leading the way right now.
And when Brady and Manning are playing in for the 16th time against one another, who did you like playing against the most, Emmitt? When you knew, obviously you brought your A game. That's why you got that jacket and that bust and that ring and that record. But who did you play against that said, this is why I suit up and lace it up?
For me, it was the Washington Redskins and the New York Giants. That's who it was for me.
That's it?
Yeah. Washington Redskins because
Why
it
is
was
that?
a rivalry game, and the Giants because it was in the Big Apple. Up here in New York City.
You love the stage.
Oh, I love the stage. Loved it. I was a fiend for the stage. The bigger the stage, the more I wanted to perform. There's no better place to showcase your talent than in front of a ton of people.
Do you think that players today, not enough of them have that sort of want or desire? Do you think that there's a similar aspect from some of the players that play your position in this day and age, Emmitt?
I think you have a combination of both. I think you have a combination of players that understand the stage is big and what that spotlight truly means. Then you have some that just don't really care at all. And that's the way it was even when I was playing. But at the end of the day, it is about performance. And the more you perform, the better you perform. The more people see it, the more consistently you are at your performance, then the more you resonate with people. And for me, I think when I think through some of the big games that I had, a lot of them occurred up here in New York. Some occurred, obviously, against the Washington Redskins in Texas Stadium on Thanksgiving Day. And some of them occurred on Monday Night Ball against Philadelphia and some others. So those are big stage, big opportunity moments for players. And I think most players really, truly want to shine on those big stage moments because that's when the world is either watching or a large population of America is watching. And that's when you have a chance to truly leave an everlasting impression upon people throughout your just for your play.
Emmitt, you say you're in New York. Before I let you go, a couple of Emmitt Smith housekeeping items. You're in New York with Keurig. What are you doing with Keurig?
Well, we're up here in New York launching What Can You Do While You Brew campaign, which is a series of videos celebrating the new Keurig 2.0 brewer. And so you can go to tailgate.com. I'm at tailgate.keurig.com to enter to win a coffee date with me down in Texas in January at the big game over at Jerry's World. And so it gives me a chance to get up close and personal with the fans. I'm a social media guy. I have a lot of folks that are following me on social media. Having coffee is one of
Yes,
the
you
things
do.
that I end up conducting business over and cutting deals on
Okay.
over a cup of coffee. And this is a way for that person and I to get a chance to know one another. They get 2 tickets to the game.
Is this the national championship game in Jerry's World you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the
that the
game I'm
game?
talking about. You said it, I didn't.
Okay. Oh no, I got you. I see. All right. But if things go well, enough for Dallas, it's possible that there's a divisional playoff game in Jerry's World that very weekend in that house.
Yes, sir. So I will probably
Emmitt.
be at Jerry's World for both of those games.
A lot of coffee, a lot of carried coffee,
A lot of coffee,
And
a lot of
last
opportunity.
thing, because I mentioned it before and I saw it firsthand, the charity work that you and your wife do in the Metroplex area. Is there any update you want to give fans or anything that they can do to get involved with what you and Pat are doing?
Well, just go to emmittsmith.com and see what look what the charity is up to next. Our next event is next week. We're hosting a business luncheon in Dallas where we're bringing in about 7 different companies that are small entrepreneurs who are growing their businesses. Who's going to talk to us about some of the challenges that they have faced as entrepreneurs, also some of the successes that they've had. And but most importantly, just to share some of their business wisdom with us and other entrepreneurs in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. So feel free to go to the website and check it out and see how you can get a ticket and be a part of that. I think it's always great to listen to wisdom, to learn more wisdom, so you can become better at what you're doing.
All right, Emmitt. It's been fun visiting with you. I hope you can come back on the show. And certainly when you're out in Los Angeles, maybe you could dance your way into our studio. Maybe.
Okay, look forward to it.
That works. You bet.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Emmitt. That's Emmitt Smith, at Emmitt Smith 22 on Twitter. And you heard about how you go to his website to find out what's going on with his charity work in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.